Okay guys, welcome to Pamela's Adoring Crochet channel. Well, today's video we are going to learn how to make these, I like to call them stress balls. They're good hand therapy for me. I do a lot of schoolwork, I do a lot of crocheting, I play golf. I'm a very active person with my hands, and so sometimes my hands kind of hurt a little bit, and so I have made these. They're just simple crochet, I could just call stress balls, and you can squeeze them and they really make my hands feel good. So guys, if you would like to make one of these, let's go ahead and get started. You will need today are a E 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, and you'll need some I prefer cotton yarn for this project. This is cotton and polyester Premier Home that I have made a couple of these in a medium full weight yarn. And you will need some stuffing to put in there. And the tighter you make your stitches, you can see that I made these stitches a little tighter. This was my second ball I made, and this is my first ball. And you see the difference. The same yarn, but I stitched this a little tighter than I did this one. And this one here actually seems like it feels better in my hand. So try to work on crocheting your stitches a little tighter, and you'll get this look compared to this look. But this one is still great too. It's just showing you the difference there. Same yarn, same hook, just tighter stitches on this one. All right, let's go ahead and get started on this project. Okay, so we're going to start with a magic ring. And if you need to put this on slow mode, go ahead after you see it. And make sure that pulls up. Okay, so you have made a magic ring. Now we're going to put 6 single crochets in this ring. So just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, both loops on the hook. You made 1 single crochet. Insert your hook in the loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook. Okay, so now we have 2, and you need 6. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So pull your strand to tighten it up or close it up. Now we're going to be working in a continuous round. We're not slip stitching and joining or anything. We're just going to continue working. So for round 2, we're going to increase all the way around. That means we're going to put 2 single crochets in each of those 6 stitches. So we will end up with 12 single crochets at the end of round 2. So just insert your hook in the first stitch. This is a little tight. There we go. And I'm going to weave this in as I go, so I'm going to just keep it behind me. That's 1, 2. So I just made 2 in that same stitch. So I'm going to place a stitch marker in that first stitch so I'll know where the beginning of my round is. Okay, so we'll need 2 in each stitch all the way around, just like this. Okay, now that you've made your 12 stitches, let's count. Okay, I have 12 for round 2. So for round 3, what we're going to do is we're going to make a single crochet in this first stitch and then an increase in the next stitch. That means we're going to have a single crochet and then 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and that's going to be our pattern all the way around. And for round 3, we will end up with 18 single crochets. So let me go ahead and get you started on round 3. So we're going to start with 1 single crochet, and let's put a stitch marker to signify our first stitch of round 3. Now an increase in the next stitch, which means 2 single crochets. Okay, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch, increase in the next stitch, and then just keep repeating that all the way around, and I will meet you when you get to the end. Okay, now I'm finished with this round, and we have 18 single crochets. That was round 3. So for round 4, our pattern is going to be 2 single crochets and then an increase. So we'll end up with 24 single crochets. So it's going to be 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet. So that was 2. And then an increase. 1 single, 1 single, increase. 1 single, 1 single, increase. 1 single, 1 single, increase. So that's going to be your pattern for round 4. So I'll get you started on it. Okay, 1 and 1. And we're going to put our stitch marker in that first single crochet that we did for this round. And then we're going to have our increase. So it's 1, and then you can say 2 if you want, and then increase. One, 2, and then increase. Okay, I'll meet you when you get to the end. Okay, so I just finished with round 4, and I have 24 single crochets. So for round 5, our pattern is going to be, we're going to work 3 single crochets. That means 1 single crochet in the first 3 stitches, and then we're going to work an increase. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. That's going to be the pattern for round 5. So let's get started. Okay, there's our 1. I'm going to go ahead and put our stitch marker in there. 2 and 3. And then our increase. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then increase. Okay, I'll let you go, and I'll meet you back when you get to the end here. Okay, so that was the end of round 5, and I think I may have forgot to tell you how many we're going to have on round 5. You should have 30 single crochets when you finish round 5. So for round 6, you're going to have 36 single crochets. So the pattern is going to be 4 single crochets and then an increase. 4 single crochets, then an increase. 4 single crochets and an increase. And that's going to be your pattern all the way around for round 6. So let's get started. There's 1. And we're going to put our stitch marker in that first stitch. And then we have 2, 3, 4, and then our increase. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an increase. Okay, I'll meet you when you get to the very end. And you, like I said, you should have 36 single crochets when you finish this round. So I just finished with round 6 and I have 36 single crochets. Okay, so for round 7, our pattern is going to be 5 single crochets and then an increase. 5 single crochets, then an increase. And so for round 7, we will end up with 42 single crochets. All right, so let's remove our stitch marker and let's get started. Okay, so we're going to 1, place our stitch marker, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then our increase. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an increase. Okay, so just continue that pattern all the way around till you get to your stitch marker, and you should have it's around 7. You should have 42 single crochets for round 7. Okay, so now that you finished round 7, you have 42 single crochets. And for round 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, we're just going to make a single crochet all the way around. So 8 through 12, 1 single crochet all the way around. So we'll have 42 single crochets for round 8 through 12. Okay, I'll meet you when you get finished with round 12, and we will start on round 13 together. Okay, now you've finished round 12, and this is what it's looking like. The ball is taking shape. Okay, so for round 13, we are going to start our decrease rows. And we're going to end up with 32 single crochets when we finish round 13. Our pattern is going to be, we're going to work 2 single crochets and then a decrease, and that's where we work 2 stitches together. And we're going to work that pattern all the way around, and then at the very end, we're going to have 2 stitches left over, so we'll just crochet 1 single crochet in each of those last 2 stitches, and that will get us up to 32 single crochets. So let's go ahead and get started on round 13. Let's remove our stitch marker. And let's start with 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. And let's put our stitch marker in that first single crochet that we did for this round. Okay, so now we got to do a decrease. Now you can single crochet these 2 together this way, or you can use the back loops. I'm going to use the back loops. So I'm just inserting my hook in that back loop, yarn over, pull through, inserting my hook in that next back loop, yarn over, pull through. I have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Now I just made a decrease, okay? And then we're going back to our regular single crochets in the next 2 stitches. That's 1 and 2. Now we're going to do our decrease again, and once again I'm working in the back loops here. Yarn over, pull through, insert a hook, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So I just made a decrease, and that's called a invisible decrease is what that's called. Now single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then we're going to do our decrease again. And if you're uncomfortable working in the back loop, you can just do your decrease in the regular stitches like that. Okay, 1 single crochet in the next 2. And then a decrease. Okay, I'll meet you when you get to the end. I'm on my last 2 stitches here, so I'm just going to make a single crochet in these last 2 stitches. Okay, so you should have, for round 13, you should have 32 single crochets. Okay, so for round 14, our pattern is going to be 2 single crochets and then a decrease. And we will end up with, let's see, for round 14, we will end up with 24 single crochets for round 14. So let's go ahead and get started. 1 single crochet in the first 2 stitches. That's 1, 2. Place your stitch marker in that first stitch right there that you just made. And then we're going to work a decrease. That's 2 stitches together. And then 2 single crochets, that's 1 and 2. And then a decrease. Okay, so continue working that pattern all the way around, and I'll meet you when you get to the end. Okay, so I just finished with round 14, and I have 24 single crochets. So for round 15, we're going to end up with 18 single crochets. And our pattern is going to be 2 single crochets and a decrease all the way around, and we'll have 18, see round 15, yeah, we'll have 18 single crochets. So let's start off with single crochet in the first 2 stitches. That's 1 and 2. Place your stitch marker in the first stitch, and then you're going to work a decrease. And then a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then a decrease. Okay, I'll meet you when you get at the end of this round, and you should have 18 single crochets. Okay, so I just finished with round 15, and I have 18 single crochets. Okay, so you can start working on stuffing your ball at this round if you want. I'm going to wait until I finish my next round before I start stuffing. So we just finished with round 15, and we have 18 single crochets. So for round 16, we are going to end up with 14 single crochets. And this is going to be the round when I finish this that I will start stuffing mine. And so the pattern is going to be 2 single crochets and a decrease, 2 single crochets and a decrease. And when we get to the last 2 stitches, we'll put a single crochet in the last 2 stitches. So let's remove our stitch marker and let's get started on round 16. Okay, so we're going to make a single crochet in the first 2 stitches. And then we're going to place our stitch marker in the first stitch. And then we will work a decrease. Then a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. A decrease. Single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Decrease, and you just continue this all the way around. A single crochet in these last 2 stitches. Okay, you should have, let's see, round 16, we should have 14 single crochets. So let's go ahead and stuff this, get this going. And just feel it every now and then to see if you like the firmness. Do your hand like this and see if you like that firmness. I think I want just a little bit more in mine. And I will actually be putting some more in it once I get the next few rounds. So now we're going to work on round 17, and our pattern is going to be, once again, work 2 single crochets and a decrease. And when we get to the last 2 stitches, we'll work 1 single crochet in each of those stitches. And so for round 17, we'll end up with 11 single crochets. And you're almost finished, just need another round after this one. Okay, so for round 17, working 2 single crochets. That's 1, 2, and let's put our stitch marker in the first stitch. Trying to get the fibers out of my way, the stuffing fibers. Okay, and then a decrease. And then 2 single crochets. A decrease. Increase. And you have 2 single crochets left. So 1 single crochet in the last 2 stitches. Okay, so that was round 17. So for round 18, you're going to decrease and then a single crochet and then a decrease in the last two stitches. You're going to decrease together. Okay, so you can add a little bit more stuffing right here if you want. I'm going to wait and add a little bit more when my hole gets really tiny. So for round 18, let's work a decrease. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and put my stitch marker. One, and then a decrease. It's really tight here, guys. 1 single crochet, a decrease, really tight here, and then another decrease in these last 2 stitches. There we go. Okay, pull your strand up. Now we're going to go ahead and fasten this off long strand so that you can weave this in. You can remove your stitch marker. Okay, now you got a little bitty tiny hole there. Stuff this in. Okay, then you need to test it every now and then, see if you like the feel of it or if you need it a little more firm. I want mine a little more firm. Get the firmness that you want. Oh, probably going to be a little bigger than the other one. Well, no, they look like they're about, well, it's a little bigger. Well, I don't know. Guess I did pretty good. Get the ball to the firmness that you want. Take a yarn needle and you're going to weave this in around. You're going to close up that hole. Let me get a yarn needle. So just thread you a yarn needle and you're going to just weave it in all the way around. And just close up that hole like that. All right, now you just take and just weave it in through the yarn, just anywhere, it don't matter. Just kind of weave it in back and forth a little bit so it don't come undone on you. think that's probably enough right there. And just cut that off. All right, guys, you have made yourself a little stress ball, good for your hands. Look at that, it's nice and firm. And it looks like that I did a pretty good job on keeping my tension tight on this one. I think it is just a tad bigger, but not much. It's still nice and firm. That's a good thing. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. Make you some stress balls. I'm using these for hand therapy. And so that's why I wanted mine really firm. All right, guys, thank you for watching. If you make any, post them in my Facebook group page. All right, thank you, guys. Keep crocheting, live life, and have fun. And I will see you guys in another video. Bye. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.